Welcome back to The Five. So yesterday, we all lost a good friend, Andrew Breitbart, and we talked a lot about it on this show. And then, Greg, you had, basically on Red Eye, it was an hour-long tribute to him, and it used a lot of video and talked a lot about him. Just maybe run us through how that went last night.
Well, it was great. I mean, we had everybody that worked with him. We had people from Ann Coulter. The whole point of the show was that none of us would have met if it wasn't for Ann. So it was like she had introduced me to Kurt Loder, introduced me to Congressman Carter, and they had introduced to Ann Coulter. Everybody there had met through Andrew Breitbart. And Andrew Breitbart's great genius was finding like-minded and fun people and bringing them together.
Yeah, he sure came off as a genius to me.
Ho-ho! CPAC has got to go! Behave yourself! 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 You are freaks and animals! You're freaks and animals! Behave yourself! Behave yourself! Behave!
Racist, sexist, anti-gay, right-wing bigots, go away! Racist, sexist, anti-gay, right-wing bigots, go away! Racist, sexist, anti-gay, right-wing bigots, go away! Racist, sexist, anti-gay, right-wing bigots, go away!
Behave yourself! Behave yourself! Learn to behave yourself! Stop raping people! Stop raping people! Stop raping! Stop raping people! Stop raping the people! You freaks! You filthy freaks! You filthy, raping, murdering freaks!
And then we had the other side of the story, which is earlier today, Eric, and also, well, and yesterday, there's always a few that are jerks. Matt Taibbi of Rolling Stone, I can't even read all that he said, but I will give you a little bit, and I won't say the bad word. He said, "So Andrew Breitbart is dead. Here's what I have to say to that." And I'm sure Breitbart himself would have respected this reaction. Good. Bad word him. "I couldn't be happier that he's dead. So to use one of his favorite words, good riddance, I can't even say that. I almost said it. Thoughts?"
Unbelievable. You know, had anyone, look, let's not make this partisan, but anyone on the right had said anything, God forbid I said something like this about, we would be destroyed on the mainstream media. No one brought the fact up that this is disrespectful. The man is dead. He's a wife and 4 young kids on the very day he dies. Rolling Stone publishes this piece of garbage. Matt Taibbi, I'm not calling for him to be fired. You're just a piece of you-know-what. You're a piece of absolute garbage crap. And was he treated differently because his father is an NBC reporter? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, Greg, before we get to the other, I wanted to ask you about, because there was one person you did respond to, and that was Slate's Matt Iglesias.
Yeah, he said the world would be better now that Breitbart's dead. And this is the great thing about Twitter, is it separates humanity from the ghouls.
Well, since these asshats won't tell you that Andrew Breitbart did the same shit to someone else, I'll let you know. When Senator Ted Kennedy died, within minutes after the news getting out, Breitbart was tweeting, "Rest in Chappaquiddick," and in the description added the words "villain," "big-ass motherfucker," and "duplicitous bastard," along with "prick." And he also wrote, "I'll shut my mouth for Carter, that's just politics. Kennedy was a special pile of human excrement," right after Kennedy had died. And these fuckwads will sit there and have you believe that he's just a mild-mannered guy, and that these people on the left they're just attacking Breitbart. Breitbart did that shit. That's how he got attention, was by doing this crazy shit, these almost political stunts in order to gain attention, almost the same way that retards like Ann Coulter get attention.
And once you put something up there, you are forever known as a ghoul. But I want to say one thing about this stuff. Andrew Breitbart would have loved Taibbi's response because it means Andrew Breitbart won. Andrew Breitbart is a legend. Taibbi is forgotten and bitter. He feeds off the journalistic welfare of a cadaverous rag called Rolling Stone, which is read by nobody and written by hacks.
Look at how terrible this man is for insulting this other man. I'm going to show you how terrible he is by insulting him back, because that would make me a better person, right? Right-wing logic fail.
Taibbi looks at somebody like Breitbart and goes, that guy won.
But
Yeah, because he used to retweet things that hateful things people said about him.
And yesterday, after he passed, you all got to share your feelings, and I wasn't here yesterday to say how he inspired, especially young conservatives, columnists like myself. I mean, he never stopped. And so when I would read his tweets and I would see what he was doing, or I'd see him at CPAC, and we saw him when I was down there, we saw him running around, and I thought, that inspired me to be more energetic. I don't have an excuse to be tired if he's running around. And why he was so effective was a number of things. But the liberals' response to this proves why he was the most effective.
But I think that
let me just finish.
not all liberals. I mean, you were just saying that Media Matters didn't say anything.
Let me just finish. Please let me finish. The reason he was the most effective is because he reveals the true side of the majority of the left, which is nasty and hateful, and he does us a service by doing this. With a smile, he always did it.
Listen, you silly bitch. Breitbart loved to roll around in the filth, all right, of politics, of left versus right, kind of the same way that I do. But I make an occasional YouTube video. I don't make a fucking living off of rolling around in the shit of politics and trying to just smear as much of it onto my opponent as possible. What you have here is a complete fucking asshole. I said it before he died, and it's true after he died. The fact that he stopped breathing doesn't change the fact that he was a complete fucking asshole. And you guys, he was a complete hypocrite when it came to Twitter, and you guys are totally ignoring the fact that he used Twitter as a weapon. And that you're like, oh, he retweeted people, the hateful things that, yeah, so he could be hateful right back at him. He liked to sling the mud. You guys are fucking delusional, or maybe purposely leaving shit out of respect for a dead man, because that's the way we do it. We just, you know, paint over. Of course, Andrew Breitbart wouldn't when it comes to people like Ted Kennedy. He can't hold his tongue. He's got to tweet about how terrible Kennedy is and how he's a special piece of shit. But Breitbart, on the other hand, when someone says anything bad about him, it's just the left, and they only hate him because he showed how terrible they were. No, he managed to get in there and sling as much shit as possible.
The idea of taking this one story and blasting it left like that, I had more conversations with people on the left yesterday, and on the show yesterday, I gave the guy a great deal of credit. I have not seen one mainstream, whatever you call mainstream media, attack him in any way. It's one guy on one rag, and you can't paint the whole left. Will you stop doing that? No, listen, you got to, but nothing. But Breitbart, I gave him credit yesterday. He was a general. I tell you, he was a guy that I wouldn't want to be up against. But the idea of suggesting that the left is happy he's dead is full.
What if, let's say, Michael Moore dropped dead mysteriously, and someone said, someone like me said, good riddance, I'm glad he's dead.
I wouldn't have said that the whole conservative movement hated him.
No, but I'd be all over the mainstream media. I'd be all MSNBC, the Daily Cause of Ariane Huffington, what a jerk Bowling is, getting fired.
That's the mainstream media, you idiot. If you went on Fox News and talked shit about Michael Moore like the day he died, that's mainstream media. Because you guys are painting it like everybody is making fun of Andrew Breitbart and they are just disrespecting him after his death. But that's not the case at all. There are people like myself who think he's an asshole and continue to think he's an asshole. The fact that he's dead doesn't change the fact that he was an asshole while he was alive. I am just an honest kind of person like that. I'm not going to hold my tongue because they're no longer around. He wouldn't have defended himself against me if he was alive, so I don't see what the difference is now that he's dead. Also, keep in mind that venomous little bitches like Ann Coulter will have a field day the day that Michael Moore dies. That anytime a big-name left-winger goes, there's more venomous shit spit out by the right and conservatives all over Twitter and Facebook and all these other things than anywhere else.
Well, wait, let's deal with the reality here. And what I said to begin, Bob, though, was that it was just a couple of people and that they were vile. And you have to, like, some people were very, very classy.
It's just that Breitbart wasn't one of them.
And Media Matters, which we make fun of all the time here, they actually were quite genuine in saying that they'll miss, you know,
they complimented him as a passionate foe.
All right, we got to go. So,
well, he was passionate, I'll give him that, but he really wasn't all that effective. Proof by this video just released of that he's really got something on Obama, and it's Obama when he was a law student at Harvard, giving a speech and leading up to opening for a professor who had written some books on slavery, and this speech and the hug that they had, the video's been out for years, and apparently they were gonna release it, basically just meaning to on Fox News to all the idiots out there that think that fucking means anything. He might have been passionate, but he was not very effective. So rest in piss, Andrew Breitbart. Coctopus out.